So again, I think the equations are about the same. A of cosine of t, A sine of t. It should have been B. See if that works. Do you guys understand why that gave me an error when I changed it to B? Why this one turned red?
Because you have right there, that's B. I mean, that's A.
Yeah, because that says A, so it's the function doesn't know what to do, so I just need to change the name of that. And probably just replug something in just to refresh it. Yeah, and it should work. Alright, let's see what those look like. Okay, so this is a plot of those values. And so if we play with, let's say this is the height control. So we can, if we go with 0 height, then it's just a spiral, right? And we start changing the height for each point. It's going to increment, in this case, by 1. So as each point gets written, they're incrementing by 1 in the z direction. We can sort of fine-tune that if we wanted to have a numerical slider that was a little bit more forgiving. We could use a decimal value so it's a little bit smaller of a z change. But at the same time, because we have this range of a here, I'm actually starting at 0 and going to 10. So I can start higher and change the kind of base of it, or if I go below 0, it's actually going to start to twist in the other direction. And if we have so our spiral kind of begins here and it's twisting in a positive direction, and it also begins here and is kind of twisting in a negative direction there. So you can kind of create these fairly complicated curves with some, I guess, relatively simple math equations. So again, that curve is same thing. I'm just interpolating a curve through it. If we wanted to get a more traditional spiral, we start at 0. We could also start at 0 and let's say go to -10, and it would switch. It would create it in the opposite direction. So this is changing the direction of our curvature. I mean, or the way that the spiral is curving. And if we actually give it a negative value here for the z, it'll, let's see, if I make the z -1 for the minimum, then we can make it spiral down. Does that make sense?
If you were to change the equations to division instead of multiplication, how would that work?
I don't know. We could. No harm in trying. You get some, I believe, some approaching infinities. Let's see what happens. It gets a little weird. No doubts there. We're also getting an error here because I think we're probably dividing by 0 at some point. Yeah. But yeah, you can definitely play around with these and look at, I would just Google search some parametric equations for typical curves. There's a lot out there that you can kind of find and mess with. These are the sort of basic ones, and they have a kind of direct application for how you would start to script these things, which is probably going to be toward the end of the semester. We'll talk about those.